Hello students, I am going to start a new topic, accounting for material. This is one of the most important chapter of cost accounting. First of all, we have to know the concept of material. Material is basically the inputs, resources and supplies which are needed for production. Such materials are converted into finished product, that is output. That's why it is also called raw materials, which are being converted into finished goods for the purpose of sale. It is the most important cost. In fact, there are three elements of cost. First one, material cost, thereafter labor cost, and then overhead or expenses. Our topic is related to material. Material cost refers to the cost for procuring inputs, resources, supplies, etc. Now, material can be classified into two categories: direct material and indirect material. Direct materials are those input or resources which can be easily identifiable with the products to be produced, jobs to be undertaken, etc. It can be directly allocated to product, process, jobs, etc. Some examples are leather sheet needed for shoemaking, brick and cement required for construction job. On the other hand, indirect material are those materials needed for production but cannot be identified with the product's job or process. Some examples are thread needed for garments, glue, nails, etc. needed for shoe making. Now, since this is the most important item of cost, so material cost control is very, very important for an organization. It has been found that in Indian industry, on an average, material cost may vary from 35% to 60% of total cost in a manufacturing unit. Material control involves the planning and controlling procedure. Basically, procedure means purchase procedure, storage and usage of material. Now, the main objectives of material control are discussed here. Number one, to avoid understocking as well as overstocking of material. That means we should not procure stock on a large quantities and most of which are not being used. As a result of, there will be overstocking. Another point is, again, it has to be kept in mind there should not be any understocking so that production process may be hampered due to paucity or shortage of material. So this is very important concept. Some other points of material controller: we must try to eliminate unnecessary cost, wastage of material, losses, etc. These are to be kept to the minimum level as far as practicable during storage as well as usage of material. To minimize ordering cost and carrying cost of inventory. Basically, these are the two important costs relating to inventory, that means stock. One is ordering cost, another is carrying cost. In short, ordering cost represents the cost relating to placing an order to the supplier, and on the other hand, carrying cost represents the storage and maintenance of stock, and opportunity cost, that is the benefit which could have been enjoyed if material is not purchased. Anyway, these two items totally known as inventory cost and our target must be to minimize this inventory cost as far as practicable. So this is very important concept of material control. Another item, procure of material at minimum of cost without compromising with the quality of inputs, and such materials are to be procured from reliable suppliers, ensuring regular supplies of material. So under no circumstances we must try to maintain that production should not be hampered due to shortage of material. So these 2 points are also to be kept in mind. Again, when materials are procured, materials are taken into store, and storekeeper is in charge of this store, and he has to issue materials to production center against proper and official requisition. At the same time, up-to-date records are also to be maintained by the storekeeper regarding these inputs or material. Sometimes information required by higher management regarding inventories. So it is the duty of the storekeeper to supply necessary information to higher level for various decision making purpose. So basically material control is very, very important, and which has to be kept in mind, and maximum stress has to be given to this aspect. Now we are coming to another important aspect, purchase of material and related documents and books of records to be maintained. Procurement of material is an important area of large manufacturing concern. It involves purchase of material, store item, supplies, small components, spare parts, etc. All types of inputs are involved here. Purchase department is to take certain steps keeping in mind that right quantity of material along with proper quality to be purchased at the right time and at a right price from reliable supplier. For this purpose, some additional points are also to be kept in mind, and some documents are to be used. First one is bill of material. It is a list of quantities of materials which are needed for a particular job or work order. It is prepared by production department or engineering department. Generally, 3 copies of bill of material are prepared. One for storekeeper, another for account departments and concerned production department. Thereafter, material requisition note. It is also known as store's requisition note. It is a document which is used to authorize and record the issue of material to production department from the store. It is prepared by foreman or any other technical person, and this is to be prepared in 3 copies. However, special approval may be needed from the higher authorities in case of costly material. This document is also known as store's requisition note. Then, material return note. It is a document which contains details regarding excess material, defective items to be returned to store from the production center. This document is prepared by the returning department with 3 copies, 2 copies for stores and 1 for returning department. Another important document is purchase order. So prior to that, we have to understand some basic concept before placing the purchase order. From the bill of material, as discussed above, for from the bill of material, we must know the quantities of various types of material needed for production of a particular type or jobs. Now, one copy is to be given to the storekeeper, and storekeeper will be in a position to state what are the materials needed after giving due consideration regarding materials which are already in store. And the difference item are to be procured by the purchase department. So, from the bill of material, we can understand the new items to be procured, and this will be given to the purchase department, and they will take the initiative to follow the purchase procedure. In fact, for a large organization, a particular concept is being followed, that is, first of all, quotation are invited from the registered supplier, and from this supplier we have to select the party quoting the least price, and accordingly the order to be placed to that supplier. So for this, a purchase order is prepared in details with various copies to be given to the supplier, to the production department, to purchase department, accounts department, as well as stores department. Purchase order technically is a written document which authorizes the supplier to supply the material as per terms and conditions stated in the purchase order. Now, size of each order to be selected by the purchaser of material that must give minimization of inventory cost. This is technically called economical ordering quantity, which will be discussed later on in details. Now we are coming to the two important inventory records to be maintained by storekeeper as well as accounts department. Number one, bin card. It consists of two terms, bin and card. Bin means rack, box, containers, etc., where materials are kept after receiving the goods from the supplier. Card is tied or placed outside each bin to record the quantity of material received, issued, and stock in hand. The basic objective of bin card is to provide a continuous record of quantity of material received, material issued, returns to store, and the balance in hand. This bin is maintained by the storekeeper. On the other hand, store's ledger is maintained by accounts department, in which separate account is prepared or opened for each item of material in the store to record both quantities as well as cost of material received, issued, returned, and stock in hand, that is material in hand. The basic objective of store's ledger is to provide a continuous record of both quantity as well as cost of material received, issued, and returned, and finally stock in hand. It is maintained by cost accounting department, whereas bin card is maintained by storekeeper. Now, there may be a problem in the minds of someone why we are to maintain bin card and store's ledger simultaneously. So, this is an important concept. Now we have to analyze this part. Physical verification of physical verification of material is done in case of bin card and can be cross-checked with the book balance as per stores ledger. So in case of bin card, only physical materials are counted and recorded in the bin card, whereas in stores ledger we find quantities as well as values. So regarding differences in quantities, we can easily detect if both stores ledger and bin card are being maintained separately. So it is always favorable to have both bin card and stores ledger for correct valuation of stock, proper reconciliation, etc., and that will ensure that our accounting is correct as per book valuation and as per physical checkup. So that's why these two documents are very, very important. Okay, that's all for the day.